Crafternoon. I'm Pauline, and this is Michelle, and we are here today to share a craft project with you. Today what we're going to work on is a springtime tree. We did a little bit of a cherry blossoms design of a tree. So some of the materials that you'll need for this project is a piece of cardboard. It can be any shape, any size. You'll also need some kind of brown paper or other paper. A lot of you who are getting groceries and other essentials through the mail, you might have some brown paper that's for packaging, so that's an option to use. You also can use old magazines or newspaper or any other kind of paper that you come across in the house. You don't have to use brown paper. You'll also need a pair of scissors, oh, I'm sticking, and glue. If you don't have glue, you can use tape. If you have any kind of clear Scotch tape, that's an option, or masking tape is a good option, duct tape, you know, there's lots of different types of tape. So those are the things that you'll need for this, and you'll also need some kind of colorful paper. I have some scrapbooking paper here for some pink, but not all of you will have scrapbooking paper at home, so you can also use tissue paper, you can use junk mail, you can use, again, old magazines, anything that has any kind of color on it, you can use those for your petals. Okay, so the first thing we'll do is get your piece of cardboard, and you'll also need a pencil or some kind of writing utensil, a marker or crayon of any kind. So we're going to start by drawing a little bit of a tree design on your cardboard. So just a simple line down the middle for your main trunk, and then draw some branches off to the side to give yourself different areas of where you're going to lay your paper down. So just a really simple template. Do you need a pencil?
Oh, I have one there. Yes.
Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is make our rolls. So as you can see with this example, I made lots of small rolls. Let me bring it real close so you can see. And you can make the small tight rolls, or here's another example that I worked on earlier where you can do one solid roll in the middle. So find your paper, and hold on, this is going to be loud, just a minute. Okay, so I'm going to start with a piece like this. Doesn't have to be a specific shape or size, just a piece of paper will work. So you're going to start on one corner. I'm going to start right here at this edge, and I make a little fold just to give myself something to grip on, and you're going to just slowly start rolling the paper. And as you get closer to the other end, you're going to put glue down. And you don't need very much. I've found with paper especially, less is more with glue, because if you put too much glue on there, it'll make it really soggy and it can get rippled and it just doesn't look very smooth. Oh, my glue got gunked up. So you don't need a lot. And then I like to use my finger to smear the glue around a little bit on the edge. Some people don't like to touch glue, and that's okay. You can use, you could even use a piece of paper and use that to smooth it out. But you just want to spread the glue out a little bit so you have a nice even edge that you can get stuck down to the roll. So I'm going to continue to roll until I get to the end, and then I'm going to wrap that glued end over. So I've got one roll. So I'm going to do a little bit of a larger piece this time.
I like the pages. Gives it a nice, interesting look to it.
Yeah, so that's good. Thank you for reminding me of that. It's another option is old books that you can use, or magazine. The words look pretty cool. Just keep in mind if you are going to be using an old book and cut up a book, make sure it is not a library book, and make sure also that it's not a book that someone is using. You want to check in with mom and dad or whoever is watching you right now. Make sure that before you cut up any books, you want to check in and make sure it's okay. So I've got my other rolls, so I'm going to make a few more, and then we will put them on our cardboard. So that's my next step. So I've got my cardboard with my tree design that I already drew on there, and I'm going to just, again, you don't need a lot of glue, just a little bit of glue. You're gonna lay a bead of glue down on your board, and I kind of like to wiggle it around. It kind of makes the glue kind of get into the crevices of the paper a little bit better. And then again, just lay a little bead of glue. Some other options for paper that I found, if you do have a lot of cardboard at home, you can actually tear the cardboard apart, and you can use that as brown paper as well. And I made some little rolls.
I used your little rolls.
Oh, those little rolls are used already, so I'll have to make some new ones. Cardboard's awesome. There's so many things you can do with cardboard.
I like how it keeps its shape too when you use the cardboard rolls.
Yeah. And so this is the corrugated cardboard. You just tear that part off and save it. Maybe you can make something else with it. Reduce, reuse.
That is the
most
motto of
important
our
ones.
Crafternoons.
Yeah, reduce, reuse. Recycling is good too, but reduce, reuse are really important. They're very important. Sometimes in a lot of ways I feel it's more important than recycling because you can reduce your waste that you produce. It's awesome. Sometimes when you put the glue down, you have to kind of hold it in place for a little bit so that it'll stick. Okay. So this is how I started this next example. So what I'm going to do is actually switch over to one that I had already started, and I'm going to show you how to make the petals. So I chose to make a cherry blossom tree. You can make whatever kind of tree you want. You can have green leaves, or flowers. You can do blue, rainbow color. You can do just plain old white with maybe all you have at home is just a notebook from school. That works too. You can use lined paper just as much, and it'll be a beautiful tree. So that's what we'll do. I'll show you the next petals with the example of using a spiral notebook. So take a piece of paper, and you're going to fold it like an accordion or like a fan. So you're going to make a fold this way, and you're going to fold this way, and you're going to fold this way. Don't worry about it being even. That's not the point. Right now we're just making some layers of paper so that you can cut some circles. So keep in mind the strength of your scissors. Sometimes scissors are not very strong and they can only go through a couple layers at a time. So avoid getting frustrated and just fold a little bit. If you have scissors that aren't very good, just cut a few circles at a time and you'll be fine. So I've got my accordion, kind of my accordion paper. And then I'm going to just cut a circle. Real simple. It doesn't have to be a perfect circle, just a round shape. And I'm going to cut, I don't know, you want to have at least a couple dozen, I'd say, circles to put on your tree. So the next thing you're going to do is take your circle and you're going to fold it in half, and then you're going to fold it a second time. And you just have a little quarter circle little blossom. If you really are feeling like you want to get fancy, you can cut this into more of a flower shape by cutting petals. So we're gonna just cut there. Real simple. That's it's kind of a rough petal, but that's okay. We're not trying to make
Petals
something.
aren't perfect.
That's right. Petals aren't perfect. We're not aiming for perfection. We're just
No.
aiming for fun, craft, enjoy yourself, relax, and just have fun with paper. So the next thing you're going to do is glue your blossoms down to your tree. So again, you don't need very much glue. Just put a dot in different places on your branches. You're going to lay your blossoms down. So again, I cut some petals on that one. I actually do kind of like the look of the petals opposed to just the circle, but you can do whatever you want. All right. So, there we are. We've got two examples, some trees, blossoms, a very simple craft project to have a good crafternoon. And there's my beautiful